Now call this meeting to order. The Board of Trustees is meeting on August 19th. My name is Chris Harding, President of the Board, and we are delighted to be back this summer. Just before we head into this meeting, I know there's been a lot of work that this board and our staff and patrons have been doing on our behalf as we've been fighting for state funding. So really want to thank the team for all the efforts. I know we're still going to deal with a little bit of a loss in funds, but I know we'll be able to manage through that. But this was a huge effort, and I know everybody at this table, outside these walls, put in a significant amount of work to make it happen. So we really appreciate the efforts of Governor DeWine as well. I know he stepped in for us when we needed him. So really just wonderful work on everybody's part. So thank you all. Please, round of applause. Thank you. And now I'm going to ask if there is anybody here for public comment. I believe we have a guest here.
Yes. I think
All right.
we do have someone here for public comment.
Yeah.
Hello. I just have a few words.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for inviting me in. I know that it is an occasion today because one of your board members is retiring from the board. And I just want to say that the relationship that the county has with the library is special. It is intimate. It is always a welcoming environment for us. We so value the work that the library does, and in turn, what all of you do by way of service to this community through the library. You have grown leaps and bounds since I've been on the commission for 8 or 9 or so years, and really have become, and always have been, honestly, an asset and a real jewel to our community. I learned that at the State House when the state at that time was trying to take money away, and y'all broke the phone system at the State House because there were so many calls it couldn't handle it, and the whole system went down. So at that moment in time, I was like, "Ooh, libraries are really popular because they're beloved in their communities." And so it has been a real honor for us to partner with you, particularly by way of appointing some of the members to the board. Nadine Allen is one of those members. Many years ago, 7 years ago, I guess it was, we were looking for someone to serve in this role, and we collectively were asking around amongst ourselves and in the community who would be a great fit, who is someone that has a heart for not only the libraries, but a heart for service in this community. And Nadine had recently retired from the bench, and we were like, oh my gosh, I wonder if Nadine would do it. And so we reached out, and Nadine said, absolutely, yes, I would love to do it. And I don't remember if you remember what you said then, but you wanted to be involved, but you also wanted to have kids understand the value of reading and bring libraries to kids, I think your grandchildren, in the community. And so we talked a little bit about that as to the other commissioners, and obviously appointed Nadine, and I know that you've been a rock star on this board. So I have a little bit of a presentation, if that's all right.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah? All right, so I've got a proclamation recognizing Judge Nadine Allen on her retirement from the Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Library Board of Trustees. Whereas Judge Nadine Allen was appointed to the Board of Trustees of the Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Library on October 3rd, 2018, serving a full 7-year term. And whereas prior to her role on the library board, Judge Allen served as a Hamilton County Court of Common Pleas judge from 2009 to 2016, devoting much of her time to addressing inequalities and inequities in the judicial system. And whereas when first elected to the Hamilton County Municipal Court in 1985, she became the first black judge to be elected in a general election, as well as the first female Democrat to be elected to countywide office. Whereas Judge Allen's most recent roles on the Library Board of Trustees has been chair of the Operations Committee, as well as a member of the Development and Facilities, Finance, and Audit Committees. And whereas during Judge Allen's service on the board, the library received national recognition and multiple awards from organizations such as the Ohio Library Council and the Urban Libraries Council. And, you know, in a library setting, you can read all the whereas clauses, so that's what I'm going to do. A lot of times I'll abbreviate, but not today. So whereas during her tenure, Judge Allen led the library through many historic milestones and advanced its mission in various ways, such as through her staunch support for community engagement in and around the library's 41 locations. And whereas Judge Allen presented strong vocal care and concern for library staff through her advocacy for fair policies, salaries, and benefits. And whereas Judge Allen has been remarkably dedicated to ensuring that the Hamilton County residents have access to their public library, both through its physical spaces and online resources. So now therefore be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of Hamilton County does hereby recognize the invaluable contributions of Judge Nadine Allen to the Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Library Board of Trustees and to the broader community, and does hereby proclaim August 19th, 2025 is Judge Nadine Allen Day.
With you here, if we
Okay.
can.
We gotta get a little
Yeah.
picture time.
Get a little picture there, thank you. Yes.
Perfect.
It's I would love to stay for your meeting, but I have another. I'm not gonna walk out of this library. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all, and thank you, Paula, for writing every word of that. I'm pretty
Mine's
sure
like, we're
you're
not
my
done,
big fan. I got some big
That's right.
fans on this board.
There's more partying to go on.
There's
Well,
much.
we'll
that all you
do
had
the
to
roll
say?
call here. I know I forgot to do that. So Molly, would you mind doing the roll call?
I got very excited.
That's right. That's right.
You're back. We'll reference that, and it's on video.
That's right.
So we're good. Miss Allen,
Here.
Mr. Harding.
Here.
Mr. Hendon,
Here.
Miss Redden. Here. Miss Reynolds.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else here for public comment or festivities
Proclamations.
or proclamations? All right. Well, I will turn things over to Paula for the director's report.
Thank you, Mr. Harding. All right, so I'm going to start off with something that Mr. Harding has alluded to already, which is information about the state budget, just to do a recap of where we are with everything here. So it was on June 30th that Governor DeWine, oh, and I should say I'm Paula Bremheger, the library's Eva Jane Romaine Coombe director, sorry. On June 30th, Governor DeWine signed the state's 2-year operating budget, which is HB 96, into law. The new fiscal year began on July 1, and unfortunately, Ohio's public libraries do face a reduction in state funding compared to the previous year. The Public Library Fund closed out fiscal year 25 at $504.6 million, and in fiscal year 26, that amount available to public libraries will decrease to $479.7 million. That is the amount available statewide. This change reflects a structural shift. The Public Library Fund, or PLF, is no longer calculated as a percentage of the state's general revenue fund. Instead, it appears as a flat line item appropriation in the state budget. So you can see below there, the state budget allocates $490 million to the PLF in fiscal year 26 and $500 million in fiscal year 27. However, please note that the budget includes annual transfers of $10.3 million, which is a total of $20.6 million over the biennium, from the PLF to support a few other entities: the State Library of Ohio, the Ohio Public Library Information Network, the Library for the Blind, the Regional Library Systems, and the Ohioana Library Association. After accounting for these transfers, the actual amount available for the distribution to Ohio's public libraries across the state is as below. You can see it's slightly lower, $479.7 million in fiscal year 26 and $489.7 million in fiscal year 27. For us, here at CHPL, our library, this reduction in statewide public funding equates to about approximately $4 million loss over 2 years compared to fiscal year 2025. While the funding changes take effect immediately, any policy provisions included in the state budget wouldn't take effect until 90 days after the governor's signature, unless otherwise stated. So policy issues that we do continue to monitor, which were vetoed by Governor DeWine, as Mr. Harding noted, thank you to the governor for that. Those included language giving county budget commissions increased oversight and authority over voter-approved property tax levies, and a harmful provision that would have required libraries to segregate some materials. The Ohio House of Representatives did hold a voting session in July to consider overriding several of Governor DeWine's line item vetoes in HB 96. However, at that time, The House only secured enough votes to override the veto related to tax levies, more specifically, the elimination of replacement levies, which we do not currently have here with our library. There has been no new news on whether or when the Senate will vote to override the veto. The House and Senate will be back in session in mid-September. It is important to note that the General Assembly does have the option to override any of the remaining 66 vetoes from the governor at any point during the current legislative session, which concludes in December of 2026. Veto overrides must originate in the chamber where the bill originally passed, in this case the House, and they do require three-fifths vote of both chambers to pass. So just giving everybody, that's the summary of where we're at on the budget for the next 2 years from the state. About 50% of our funding does still come from the state.
What effect will that have on the operation of the library?
Well, we're going to have to really look at that, Mr. Hendon. We have a variety of things that we will have to try to streamline, and perhaps as we move forward, and Molly will talk a little bit about it in her fiscal report, as we move forward, we also have to be aware that the state funding may continue an unfortunate downward trajectory. So we're talking about that right now. It's a good question. We have a couple of things that we'll talk about today that are relevant, but over the next several years, we will need to think about how to adjust should state funding continue in this trajectory. Speaking of legislators, we had some visits. We're honored to have hosted State Senator Wilson at the Deer Park branch on August 7th for a really well-attended and lively family story time, followed by a tour of that branch. We also look forward, or actually we did, to welcoming U.S. State Representative Warren Davidson at the Forest Park branch yesterday on August 18th. That did happen. And State Representative Cecil Thomas will be visiting the Clifton branch on August 21st. Those were scheduled, and they remain so at the time of this report. So we have had some wonderful opportunities to connect with our legislators from state and federal. Urban Libraries Council Annual Forum. Moving on to some non-legislative business. For the first time, Cincinnati has been selected to host the Urban Libraries Council Annual Forum October 22nd to 24th at the Downtown Westin, with 250 attendees expected. On Thursday the 23rd, we here at our library will offer afternoon tours and a reception at the renovated Main to accommodate the large crowd expected for the evening reception. The South Building will close a little bit early at 4 p.m. instead of scheduled 6 p.m., while the North Building remains open. We're eager to showcase our Transformational Facilities Master Plan project to the library leaders visiting from large library systems across North America. So this is going to be a great opportunity for us to really show things off. And I'm going to round out my report with further accolades to our wonderful trustee, Nadine Allen. Thank you for all your service. There's no speeding this up. We're doing the whole thing. Retired Judge Nadine Allen did join the Library Board of Trustees. She was officially appointed in 2018 and will conclude that 7-year term this September. Throughout her tenure, she's been a steadfast champion of the library's mission, a dedicated community advocate serving in key leadership roles as president, vice president, secretary of this board. Her service as board president in 2023 was especially significant, guiding the library through a successful levy campaign that ensured continued investment in vital resources and services. Judge Allen's influence extended far beyond board meetings. She provided essential guidance during early stages of the COVID-19 pandemic, consistently prioritizing the well-being of library staff and the broader community. Her commitment to inclusivity and community engagement was evident in her active participation in the library's facilities master plan, which included listening sessions across the county to shape services around real community needs. Under her leadership, the library achieved several major milestones, including the renovation and expansion of Price Hill and Walnut Hills, the construction of new branches in Deer Park, Madisonville, Forest Park, and more. Her contributions have left an enduring mark not only on the library's infrastructure, but on the spirit of its service. We extend our deepest gratitude to Judge Allen for her years of exceptional service. Her legacy will continue to inspire and strengthen our work for years to come. I got a little sad there for a minute. So I do think that we know that Commissioner Driehaus came, but I think Board President Harding has a little bit of a resolution.
We have a separate resolution for you,
Yes.
Judge. As if you can't have more than enough.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and read this. Resolution honoring retired Judge Nadine Allen. Whereas Nadine Allen was first appointed to the Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Library Board of Trustees in 2018 by the Hamilton County Commissioners, And whereas retired Judge Allen served for 7 years as a valued member of the library's Board of Trustees, including as president of the board in 2023 and vice president in 2022. And whereas retired Judge Allen has been a staunch vocal supporter of the library during our advocacy for local and state funding. And whereas retired Judge Allen served as president of the board in 2023 during the library's most recent funding efforts, providing information to our community about the value and importance of the public library. And whereas while retired Judge Allen served on the board, the library received national recognition and multiple awards from such organizations as the Ohio Library Council and the Urban Libraries Council. And whereas retired Judge Allen supported the building, renovation, and improvements of library locations across Hamilton County communities and strongly supported the work of the facility master plan to ensure we offer Hamilton County facilities ready for the next generation of library service. And whereas retired Judge Allen supported the ongoing creation of accessible spaces and upholding the library's mission of connecting people with the world of ideas and information. And whereas throughout her tenure on the board, retired Judge Allen continually demonstrates strong and vocal care and concern for staff by advocating for fair policies, salaries, and benefits. Now therefore, be it resolved in recognition of her years of committed service, the members of the Board of Trustees thank and commend retired Judge Nadine Allen for her dedicated service to the Cincinnati and Hamilton County Public Library.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judge.
And I will note that that is in the board document, so that has been memorialized here. And at the end of the meeting, we have a more official document for you. So thank you, Judge Allen. Changing.
Well, and real
yeah,
quick,
yeah.
I would just like to ask for a motion to make
Okay.
sure that this gets added to the minutes as well as the previous.
Thank you.
Moved.
Thank you.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Yay! Thank you, Judge Allen. And finally, rounding out my report, we have the library closing schedule for 26 and also the board meeting dates for 26 there. They have the closing schedule is the same as it had been. It is our practice, of course, to close early on New Year's Eve at 5. And also the board meeting dates are there. So I believe I will ask for a motion from someone on the board in a second to approve the closing schedule and the meeting dates.
All in favor?
Aye.
September 30th, technically.
Aye.
Yes, you're still voting, lady, yes. Yes.
That's right.
That's right.
Anything else, Paula?
No, thank you, sir.
All right. All right. Now I'll ask Ms. Redden to present the Facilities Finance and Audit Committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Harding. You have this report that was prepared by Molly DeFosse. So the Facilities and Finance and Audit Committee met on August 4, 2025 at the main library. Committee members Gregory W. Olson and Colleen M. Reynolds were in attendance along with Board President Christopher A. Harding. Staff members Paula Bremheger and Molly DeFosse were also in attendance. It is the recommendation of the committee that the board take the following action. Sims Township Branch renovation and addition. The construction of the branch is progressing on schedule. The interior wall framing is nearing completion and work on the inside perimeter walls is set to begin early next week. Additionally, the installation of fire suppression systems, HVAC ducts, and overhead plumbing is currently underway. The electrical equipment has been received and electrical rough-in work will begin soon. Temporary panels will be installed in existing perimeter openings in preparation for the air conditioning installation. Confirm the following change order that modifies the Sims Branch GMP for Turner Construction. There's a design modification that adds $16,877. Avondale Branch maintenance and renovation. The temporary location at Living God Church is being prepared for library service and is expected to open once the GMP for the project is executed in late August or early September. The bids for the project were received by Turner Construction on August 5. The updated project budget with the GMP exceeds the original planned estimate by $1,350,000. We are requesting approval for the current GMP with the intent to execute an early release package to get the project started while we carefully review the bids with Turner and work with the architect to look for savings. We are requesting authorization for the Eva Jane Remain Coombe Director to modify the branch renovation and replacement 2022 to 2027 agreement with Turner Construction via GMP amendment, subject to owner and attorney review as follows. GMP inclusive of CMR fee and CMR contingency equal to or less than $6.5 million with a project budget of $8,850,000 detailed below. Avondale Branch GMP detailed, you can see the differences. So then we have the 2025 branch maintenance, Mount Washington Branch, Marymount Branch, and Oakley Branch, and replacement of Sharonville mechanical equipment. The guaranteed maximum price agreements for Mount Washington, Marymount, and Oakley have been executed. Below is a table summarizing the estimates and the actual amounts. The Sharonville mechanical equipment replacement is pending. So there's two charts between the estimates and the actual, with the estimate being high by $526,385. In early July, the Madeira Branch mechanical equipment scheduled for replacement in 2026 failed, much to the angst of Madeira moms on Facebook. It was bad. The branch was closed for a week, and we worked with Turner to obtain a temporary solution. The cost of the solution is slightly less than $150,000. We have engaged CMTA to design the replacement system and intend to add it to this maintenance package. The temporary location for Mount Washington has been operating since June. The work on the branch is underway and on schedule. The Marymount branch closes on Friday, August 1st, with construction commencing August 11, 2025. The target date for closing the Oakley branch is late September, with the CHPL facilities team installing carpet and painting before Turner begins the equipment installation in mid-October. Oakley is anticipated to be the first of the three branches to open, with a target date of mid-December. The bidding for the work at Sharonville Chiller is expected to be completed at the end of August, with an updated GMP to follow. Increase the total GMP from $5.3 million to $6.5 million to add the Madeira branch equipment into 2025 branch maintenance project. Sale of former Madisonville branch, 4830 Wetzel Avenue. As indicated at the June Board of Trustees meeting, there is no longer a need to maintain the former branch facility. In the spirit of good stewardship and given the decline in state funding, we would like to market the property for sale. After a recent site visit, the realtor has adjusted the valuation of the building to $550,200 and $640,900. Approve the request for proposal to purchase the property attached as Exhibit 1. In conjunction with the sale, we have hired CBRE to list the property and represent the library in the RFP process. Under this agreement, we will list the property for 6 months in the event the RFP does not result in a sale. As noted in the RFP, the board will review any offers at the October board meeting. Request from an Anderson Branch neighbor. A neighbor of the Anderson Branch Library has inquired about purchasing unused property at the Anderson Branch Library off of State Road. Any consideration of selling public assets will typically include public engagement and open competition. Decline the verbal offer to purchase the property. The property is not for sale at this time. Could I get a motion in a second, please?
I move we accept those.
Thanks, Bob.
Second.
Thank you.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Harding? Mr. Hendon?
Aye.
Ms. Redden?
Aye.
Ms. Reynolds?
Aye.
The rest of the report is for information only. Property acquisition, 1609 West North Bend Road. The purchase sale agreement for the property has been executed. We have engaged J.S. Held to manage the due diligence process, which is scheduled for completion by October 12, 2025, closing no later than November 12, 2025. We will begin the design process upon a successful closing with community engagement this winter. As previously noted, the current branch library is on property leased from Cincinnati Public Schools. The agreement states that if the building is not a library, it reverts to CPS. Once the project timeline is defined, we will be in contact with CPS. Main library project update. We continue our work with Champlin Architecture and Turner on facade concepts to refresh the 9th Street exterior and provide a clear design connection between the two buildings. The GMP for the main library chillers, cooling tower, and generator replacement was approved for $6.3 million in December 2024. The actual GMP was recently executed for $6,065,354. This work will intermittently impact access to the north parking lot. Library staff recently met with Duke Energy to discuss Duke's plan for a gas line upgrade on Walnut Street and its impact on library operations and projects. The Duke upgrade will begin on August 18, 2025, and is scheduled for completion by December 31st, 2025. The area impacted will be between Court Street and A Street. We discussed the need for communication and keeping access to the library open. We also informed them of the chiller and generator replacement project taking place between September 2025 and March 2026. Duke's upgrade will not disturb the gas supply to the library. Miami Township branch replacement. The library is working with the architect, SMP, on the design schedule with plans to complete the design by early 2026, with the GMP bidding and execution immediately after. Delhi branch replacement planning. The design process will begin in late 2025, with hopes of construction beginning in late 2026. The current project budget is $18 million. We will be working with JS Held, SHP, and Turner on this project. Forest Park branch, Cheviot branch renovation, and Mount Healthy branch. We are working on obtaining the project closeout documentation. 2024 audit. The annual audit by the Auditor of State has recently been completed. The trustees were notified via email on June 26, 2025. We submitted the report to the Government Finance Officers Association for the annual award. The audit noted that one item where an expense was misclassified between two categories. The adjustment was made during the compilation process, where we outsourced the preparation to the Local Government Services Office of the Auditor of State. The overall expense was reported accurately in total. The library continues to work on expanding our internal resources so that in the future, the risk of these types of misstatements are minimized. Branch leases. The library has 3 branch leases expiring over the next 18 months. The lease on the Green Hills branch expires on October 31, 2025, and has an annual cost of $6,300. We will be working with the landlord over the next several months on renewal options. In addition, the Bond Hill branch and the Loveland branch have long-term leases expiring on December 31, 2026. The lease for Bond Hill has an annual cost of $158,424 for 2026, and the cost of Loveland has an annual cost of $103,426. Budget update. As noted in the Human Resources Committee report, the market assessment was recently completed. As a result, the pay structure is being adjusted. The overall increase in salaries has been part of budget planning over the last several years. The 2025 budgeted salaries is $38.2 million, and the current projected salaries for year with the adjustment of $37.5 million. For 2026, the estimate is $38.9 million, which is in line with long-term projections. With the conclusion of the state budget process, we are able to update our revenue projections. The PLF for 2025 is expected to be $49,105,497, and for 2026, it is expected to be $48,692,527. Given the trending decrease in funding with the increasing cost of operations, including the importance of fairly compensating our staff, we will continue to evaluate all spending. And that concludes my report, President Harding.
Thank you. Just wanted to make a couple quick remarks on the Duke Energy work. So if you have any angry comments, you can direct those to my colleague. I'm happy to provide that. No, but that's right. But no, I tried to stress in some of those project meetings just to make sure that our employees continue to have access to the building, that they're aware of where folks are parking, that there's access to the drop-off window on 9th Street. So I'll continue to push internally with the Duke Energy team, but just thanks everybody for your patience on that. So there's a lot of players that we're working through with the city and the county on that project, and plenty of business owners down this way too. But I know with some of the things we've talked about and as it relates to changes to the budget, and we're going to be looking at all things. I know this board is pushing to think about some innovative ways for us to continue our library service, but just stay tuned. So there'll be a lot of discussions moving forward. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yep.
I just wanted to also just thank staff and the director specifically for getting our candid feedback about what to do with the Madisonville branch. I know that originally it'd be easy to just dispose of a property and think differently, but it means a lot to this board and to the community, and most importantly, the Madisonville community, for us to be thoughtful about what becomes of that property. And so hopefully we get some great responses to the RFP, and I know all of us will help make sure that gets into the right hands. But honestly, I just want to say thank you for hearing us out, because I know that you have plenty to do, and this delays the project a little bit, but it just means a lot to the community engagement that we've done. So thanks.
Also, Mr. Chair, I also wanted to comment on Madisonville, because I used to attend those listening sessions with that very invested neighborhood.
Yes.
And their emotional attachment to that building, but they understood that finally, that it was underutilized and had one of the lowest usage, and that changed their mind. So, but it's also good for us to, find a reasonable income-producing things we can do.
Yep.
It's a balance.
A happy compromise.
That's right. Well, thank you. Well, Ms. Reynolds for the HR report.
All right, Human Resources. The Human Resources Committee met on August 4th, 2025 at the main library. Committee chair, myself, Colleen Reynolds, and committee members Karen R. Lewis and Gregory W. Olson were in attendance. Board President Christopher A. Harding and staff members Paula Brim-Heeger and Kyla Hardin were also in attendance. It is the recommendation of the committee that the board accept the following recommendations. Market assessment. In November 2024, after a hearty debate, the library initiated a market assessment in partnership with industry expert Organizational Architecture. The goals of this project were to review compensation data to ensure our pay practices remain competitive and sustainable, and to streamline and update job descriptions. As a result of this very hard work, all job descriptions have been reviewed and updated and were shared with staff in June. We received recommendations from Organizational Architecture to consider moving staff who are at the maximum of their current pay range to the next highest range. After a close review, we have determined that meeting this goal can be efficiently realized by adjusting the entire pay structure. This approach meets the suggested objectives of the study while maintaining the current grading structure. Additionally, taking this approach results in the starting base salary will be increased by 3%, all staff will receive a positive pay adjustment, creates a standard increase between grades based on essential functions and responsibilities. The pay bands within grades will have wider margins as grades increase. The new schedule, effective 9/14/25 for pay date 10/2/25, begins with all employees within grade. All staff will receive an increase between 3% and 7.97% as a part of the indexing process. Over 50% of our staff, represented by grades 4 and 5, will receive an average of a 7.5% increase. And as a result of the significant pay structure adjustment for the 2026 planning purposes, it is recommended that a 3% total merit increase for all grades be budgeted for the 2025 performance year. We're asking the board today to approve the revised pay structure as outlined in Exhibit 1. For comparison, the current pay structure is provided in Exhibit 2. If we want to flip to that quickly, you can review it as the chart. Also, we're being asked to approve a 3% total merit increase budget for 2026. This increase is subject to performance eligibility and will be effective for 12/26, which is reflected on pay date for 30/26. The library's last comprehensive market assessment and pay structure review was completed in December 2021 with an overall 2% structure adjustment implemented in January 2024. Do we want to do a vote on them separately or together? Together. Perfect. Do I have you're in charge, not me.
Can you get a motion?
I'd make a motion.
Second.
Great.
Let's do a roll call.
Yeah.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Harding?
Aye.
Mr. Hendon?
Aye.
Ms. Redden?
Aye.
Ms. Reynolds?
Aye.
Thank you.
For information only, Community Leadership Certificate Program on Tuesday, July 22nd. The Cincinnati State Board of Trustees invited representatives from the library to present at their July meeting, recognizing the successful partnership behind our Community Leadership Certificate Program. This library-funded initiative, developed in collaboration with Cincinnati State, creates meaningful pathways to leadership for library staff who do not currently hold an MLS or MLIS degree, but are passionate about public service and leading others. During the meeting, Library Director Paula Bream-Heeger and HR Director Kyla Hardin shared the program's background, goals, and impact. Raya Jarwala, Mount Healthy Branch Manager and recent CLCP graduate, offered a powerful personal reflection on her experience in the program. The board also recognized the CLCP's receipt of the ASPA GCC Outstanding Public Service Award in October 2024. We're excited to announce that the third cohort of the CLCP will begin classes the week of August 25th. Congratulations to the 5 staff members selected to participate: Mitzi Tijada, Justin Robinson, Laura Rosero, Beth Ponferrada, and Carly Francis. Apologies for any mispronunciations there. CLCP has already demonstrated strong outcomes since the program's launch in August 2023. 9 staff graduated in spring of 2025, with 1 more to graduate this fall. 1 participant has been promoted to senior branch manager. 5 have been promoted to branch manager. 2 have received promotions to higher level positions with expanded leadership responsibilities. 1 was selected for a new location aligned with their professional and development goals. And with 6 participants currently entering their 2nd year and 5 more about to begin, we're excited to continue investing in the growth and development of future library leaders through this program. Woohoo! Staff morale team. Backed by popular demand, the staff morale team created a summer reading program for staff. The program ran from June to late July. Many staff members joined the online summer reading team to participate in weekly connection and conversation. The staff morale team facilitated conversations about well-being, food, puzzles, team building, local finds, media favorites, trivia, and songs of the summer. To mirror the public summer reading program, the staff morale team also created a bingo sheet. Once completed, would be entered into a grand prize raffle. Weekly prize winners were also announced for staff who participated in the weekly conversations. Thanks to all staff who participated. Say extra thank you to Kyla. This was so much work. It feels so exciting to be able to endless amount of hard work by many people at this table, and the folks that we hired to help us make this happen. So thanks.
Yeah, here. I know we've talked about continuing to push to be an employer of choice, right? And
Yeah.
I've never been more excited about an HR committee report, I'll be honest. 'Cause
We know, Mr. Harding.
I mean, we've been talking about this for a number of years, and it's great to be finally happening. So I hope our employees appreciate the effort that we're making here. I know there's going to be a town hall tomorrow to discuss more and field questions from our employees. But again, fantastic work. Really proud to see this come through. All right.
That concludes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Now I'll turn things over to Judge Allen for the Operations Committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to thank Kathy Bach, our Public Services Director, for this report. So we're going to start with Shaguri Chatterjee. Did I say that right? Okay. Regional Manager, Service Team. I have an entire workup for her. Is she going to speak or am I?
I think you're going to introduce her, and then she's going to offer some insights here.
Okay, I would like for you to offer some insights here at this
Want
time.
me to go first?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll follow up with all the details.
Thank you. So thank you so much to the Board of Trustees, to Paula and her leadership team for making my professional journey nothing but phenomenal. 13 and a half years ago, I was just a freshly minted citizen with an accent, embarking on a midlife career change to public libraries, uncertain yet hopeful. Your trust and support gave me a chance to thrive and proudly call CHPL my professional home. My story at the library began at the Information and Reference Department, or IRF, after not one, but several interview attempts. It took someone special, Angela Farmer, to see something in me and offer me my start as a senior library services assistant. Today, I feel immense pride in concluding my journey here at the main library full circle as regional manager for the #1 region. Among my many roles, serving as a teen librarian at the Deer Park branch will always stand out. Natalie Fields, my role model manager there, built a team rooted in trust. We could count on each other on good days and bad, and she drew out the unique strengths in every team member. Natalie inspired me to see my own potential and encouraged me to reach for it. I would not be here today in front of you if not for her guidance and her belief in me. Of all the branches I've worked in, Elmwood Place has been my favorite. A small but mighty space where I truly influenced lives every day. I heard life stories, some funny, some inspiring, some heartbreaking, and found purpose in serving our community. That was the branch where we packed over 80 kids in for summer lunch, finding creative ways to make it work in just 1,500 square feet. Our library's strength is its people. I am so grateful to my team members who work diligently and patiently to serve customers each and every day. As an Indian American who became a US citizen in her late 30s, I felt wholeheartedly welcomed at the CHPL, my ideas valued, and my background appreciated. As likely the first Indian American regional manager and member of the senior leadership team at the CHPL, I hope I've inspired others who, like me, may speak with a different accent or come from a non-traditional background. I sincerely look forward to the day when someone else with a story like mine has a seat at this table. Finally, it's been a privilege to return to the main library at 800 Vine Street for the last chapter of my career. I have been especially fortunate to work with Kathy Bach, who taught me the power of listening, pausing, and making decisions that truly serve both our organization and our communities. Thank you. Thank you to all of you, truly, for making this incredible journey possible for me.
Fantastic. That's wonderful. And now for some other really professional details about Shagori. She is an accomplished library professional with over a decade of progressive leadership experience at CHPL. In her current role as regional manager for Region 1, Shagori oversees 11 CHPL branches and contributes to strategic initiatives as a member of the senior leadership team. Her leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic as senior branch manager at the Blue Ash branch was instrumental in reimagining library services, including the implementation of curbside service. She expanded programming, enhanced staff engagement, and optimized branch spaces to better serve the community. Notable achievements include launching a broadcast club to engage younger audiences and partnering with the Miami University's Scripps Gerontology Center to enrich adult programming. Earlier in her career, Shagori managed the Norwood and Elmwood Place branches, where she strengthened community partnerships and improved service outcomes, such as increasing summer lunch attendance by 205% at Elmwood Place. Her tenure as teen librarian at the Deer Park branch highlighted her talent for developing teen programs and fostering volunteerism. Shagori began her library career with CHPL at Main Library as a part-time library assistant and reference services assistant. She holds a Master of Library Information Studies from the University of Alabama and a post-baccalaureate certificate in library technology from the University of Cincinnati. Originally from India, she brings a multicultural lens and a deep commitment to inclusive community service. Shagori is retiring after 13 years of service on October 3rd, 25, and will be greatly missed.
Thank you. Thank you for your service. You've been a great representative for our library over the years, and I've been delighted to run into you at various events around town. You always have a great smile on your face. You represent us well, so thank you for giving us your time. I do hope, as you say, to inspire others to also dig in as you have, so thank you.
I may see her in the future because I did let her know that I have performed most of the Hindu weddings that occurred in Evendale. And somebody's son is engaged to be married, so she said, we may be in touch. So, library staff engagement with the science of reading and statewide literacy goals. We continue to align early literacy efforts with Ohio's statewide focus on the science of reading and evidence-based framework on how children learn to read. 2 fall youth retreats are planned for September, focusing on practical applications of the science of reading in after-school programs, class visits, and teacher collections. The library is also participating in a statewide LSTA grant led by Toledo-Lucas County Public Library to support this work. Staff training is further supported by resources like the Urban Libraries Council's Science of Reading Toolkit and internal workshops on decodable books and early literacy practices. These efforts reinforce the library's role as a key partner in improving literacy outcomes for children across the region. One-year Main Library celebration and recent programs and events. On July 12th through 13th, the library hosted Meet Me at Main, a week-long celebration marking the one-year anniversary of the Main Library's reopening. The event highlighted a year of programming, vibrant community connections, and creative use of public space. More than 4,500 people visited the downtown Main Library over the weekend, including 3,012 visitors in the South Building, representing a 44% increase over average weekend attendance and nearly 80% more visitors than on an average Sunday. The celebration featured a wide variety of performances, activities, and community partnerships, including Madcap Puppets, Elements hip-hop dance class, music by DJ Monet, and headline performance by Pianne Everson Price and her all-star band. Visitors also enjoyed Craftapalooza, face painting, and food trucks that activated our outdoor spaces. Additional highlights included the Friends of the Library book giveaway, a Cincinnati Shakespeare in the Park performance, the America's River Roots presentation, a Cincinnati Book Arts Society artist Q&A and panel, a Skate Downtown Cincinnati demonstration, and a piano performance by Ricky Nye. 70th anniversary of the 1955 Main Library. On Thursday, September 18th, the library will host a special program marking the 70th anniversary of the 1955 Main Library building, titled Designing Cincinnati's Legendary Main Library, a collaboration between architect Woody Garber and librarian Carl Vitz. The event will take place at the Hungfeld Tower Room, 3rd South. CF3, a local nonprofit focused on modern design and co-sponsor of the event, will offer refreshments starting at 6 p.m. ahead of the library's closing. Archival photos and artifacts from the 1955 building will be on display during this time. The presentation begins at 7 p.m. and will be followed by a Q&A. Chris Smith will open with a brief history of the decades-long effort to build a new library. Robert Vitz, son of Carl Vitz, will speak on his father's vision for a modern library. The presentation will be delivered by Elizabeth Garber, daughter of architect Woody Garber, focusing on the building's design and construction. This event celebrates the library's architectural legacy and the enduring vision of those who made it possible. Genealogy Lock-In at the Main Library on Saturday, October the 4th, 2025. The library and the Hamilton County Genealogical Society continue their long-standing partnership by welcoming the return of the Genealogy Lock-In at the downtown Main Library from 6:30 to 11:30 p.m. A Genealogy Lock-In is a dedicated after-hours event which provides researchers with extended access to resources and expert assistance from staff as guests delve into their family history and network with like-minded individuals. Additionally, this year, Dr. Michael Gunn of the Cincinnati chapter of the Sons of the American Revolution will give a presentation during the lock-in on the history of burials at Washington Park and the number of patriots laid to rest throughout Hamilton County. Black Music Walk of Fame exhibit and live radio broadcast. On Wednesday, June 18th, the library, in partnership with Hamilton County Commissioner Alicia Reese, hosted an exhibit at the downtown Main Library celebrating the legacy of black music artists from the region. The exhibit featured memorabilia, photographs, and stories honoring 20 inductees, including new additions like Dottie Peoples, Nancy Wilson, the OJs, and the Ohio Players. It was interactive and inclusive with collectible posters, live music, and activities highlighting the depth and diversity of black music history. The event honored the newest inductees into the Cincinnati Black Music Hall of Fame and unveiled 4 original stars, now part of the library's collection, formerly housed at the Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky International Airport. The celebration included live musical performances and appearances by influencers and previous inductees. This partnership and the Main Library's recent renovation focused on local history garnered several media mentions. Nearly 2,000 visits were recorded, at the main library on June 18th, marking the highest single-day visit count for the period of June 9th to June 2027. This demonstrates the power of collaboration, musical events, and engaging local history exhibits in attracting community interest. To amplify the celebration, the library hosted Commissioner Reese's live radio broadcast and podcast, Soul Food, on July 25th. This broadcast served as a dynamic lead-in to the July 26th induction ceremony and featured interviews, music, and community engagement. The initiative exemplified the library's commitment to honoring cultural history, fostering community partnership, and creating vibrant public programming. Summer Reading 2025 wrap-up and upcoming programs. Summer 2025 Reading on the River drew 29,990 youth participants between May 31st and July 31st, marking a 3% increase and a 13% jump in teen participation as compared to the same period in 2024. 79,560 customers attended summer reading programs in June and July, and youth had the opportunity to explore science and sustainability through hands-on programs such as Compact Close-Up with the Civic Garden Center, and Chemistry in Your Hands with the Cincinnati Museum Center. More than 1,100 youth interactions were reported by homework help and enrichment staff in June. The library also distributed 4,426 community books from May through July and provided 4,438 meals in June and 3,842 meals in July. Thanks to generous partnership, 1,013 Gold Star meal coupons and 20 gift cards were distributed at feature programs, and 20,000 Reds vouchers were given to summer reading participants. Featured upcoming program and events. On August 21st, Exploring Veterinary Science 2 at the Loveland Branch. August 25th, Voices Unleashed, the Power of Spoken Word Poetry Showcase Kickoff, Price Hill and Walnut Hills branches. September 9th, Rollin' on the River, presented by the Cincinnati Museum Center, Cheviot Branch, a celebration of America's River Roots Festival. September 10th, CPR and First Aid, presented by Serena Collins of the Forest Park Branch. September 23rd, Cover Crops in Small Gardens and Raised Beds, presented by Hamilton County Conservation District, Anderson Branch. Thank you, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Judge. We'll now turn things over to Mr. Hendon for the Development Committee.
All right, this is the Development Office report submitted by Stacy Dennison, Development Director. Development Office, the library has received significant gifts from the Lamacchia Family Foundation and the Greater Cincinnati Foundation, thanks to Stern Family Fund at the Greater Cincinnati Foundation for an anonymous donor. Library Foundation. On July 10th, the Library Foundation hosted a sold-out fundraiser, booking for the evening at the downtown Main Library. It was an overwhelming success thanks to the support of many sponsors, including the Lamacchia Family Foundation, Ann W. and Peter Williams Family Fund, Turner Construction, Chaplin Architecture, Custom Design Benefits, Gallagher CBRE, DSA Advisors, Harvard Maintenance, Leadership Accelerate, SHP, and U.S. Bank Private Wealth Management. In addition to these sponsors, there were 27 hosts and hostesses and 210 individual tickets sold. Significant gifts have been received from the Charles H. Dater Foundation in support of the Homework Helper Program. Catherine and Anthony Civiano and the Ruth J. and Robert A. Conway Foundation. Now, Friends of the Public Library. The Friends continue to see an increase in customers at their bookstore and warehouse in Hartwell. In July, one weekend boasted a $10,000 weekend sale, which is more than double the sales of the normal weekend. Looking ahead, the Cincinnati Indie Book Crawl is scheduled in October, and the Friends are again participating at a location at the annual crawl. The Anderson Township Library Association, the results of the 45th annual summer sale were 22% higher than the June 2024 sale. Now, I think, Stacy, you have a presentation to make.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hendon.
And thanks for everyone's time today to talk a little bit more about the Development Office and the work of the Library Foundation. The Development Office is supported by a team of 3, and we do a lot. This way? That way, okay. So kind of in a nutshell, the Development Office supports all non-tax contributed revenues and in-kind donations to the library, as well as manages directly or is a single point of contact for our library's affinity groups. So that's all gifts to CHPL, direct management through a memorandum of understanding of the Library Foundation, and we provide support to the Friends of the Public Library as well as the Anderson Township Library Association. If it seems like a lot, it is. It's also deeply rewarding. The individuals and groups that the Development Office gets to work with are passionate library supporters with their time, talent, and treasure. While CHPL can accept cash donations, the Libraries Foundation is the preferred philanthropic vehicle for our library. And our Friends Group's purpose is to sell books as membership-based organizations. The Library Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization with the singular purpose of supporting the library through fundraising and endowment management. The foundation responds to funding requests from the library, specifically looking to fund programs, services, and initiatives that cannot or should not be funded through public dollars that the library receives. Traditionally, the foundation has focused on providing funds for literacy initiatives like summer reading and barbershop books, educational programs like homework help and the Marius Stern Lecture, as well as library enrichment support like for makerspace equipment, as well as workforce development programs. Oops, back. There we go. Similar to other philanthropic-driven nonprofits, the foundation raises funds annually by working with individuals and donors and grants from organizations. Based on the foundation's endowment holdings, we also provide funds through annual distributions from restricted and unrestricted endowment funds. One of the primary reasons the foundation was established about 21 years ago was to grow and hold endowment dollars. The library board at that time, along with the first board members of the foundation, understood and prioritized the type of stable and consistent funding endowments can offer our library in perpetuity while capitalizing on market rate growth through these investments. So what does that look like? How have we grown? It's been a lot. These slides show what we've done in the last 15 years in a couple of ways. The yellow bar graph shows how much funding the foundation has provided in direct support to the library every year in these last 15 years. And in the last fiscal year for the foundation, which ended on June 30th, nearly $860,000 was provided in support of the library. The green chart or the green bar chart, is a snapshot of the foundation's endowment growth. At the end of the last fiscal year, the endowment total was valued at about $22.4 million. The type of growth in our endowment means that we are able to give more back to the library every year, but in a fiscally responsible way. Our endowment draws are calculated on an average of funds for the past 3 years at either a 3 or 5% rate, depending on donor restrictions. We manage over 14 different named funds with various purposes, from literacy support to improvements in children's library spaces to many unrestricted funds. The foundation has been able to grow its support to the library and its endowments through 3 primary strategies: individual giving through multi-channel campaigns or appeals. That's a traditional mailer to households, social media, email, and video solicitations that go out 2 times per year. Major and planned gifts, these have primarily supported the growth of the endowment, and through grants or gifts through organizations which provide direct program support to the library, initiatives like summer reading and homework help. New this year, we also added a special event strategy with a signature friend and fundraising event with ticket sponsors and hosts and hostesses, and that's a really big jump for a development team to do. It was also a lot of fun. So Booked for the Evening was designed to help increase engagement and awareness of the Downtown Main Library for its 1-year anniversary, and we did the event on July 10th, as well as the foundation and the library overall. Ticket prices were designed to be accessible at $50 per ticket, with host and hostess ticket packages, as well as sponsorship opportunities to help cover the cost of the event. It was a really fantastic evening where guests explored the library with 14 different activity stations. I'm going to pass this around a couple different ways. These are activity cards. That was kind of the program, if you will, for the event. On it's like a due date card where you went around and you could get stickers at each of the stations. And if you got all of the little asterisks filled out with a sticker, if you visited all of those locations, you got entered into a drawing to win this, not my Yeti, but a Yeti that was also laser engraved at the makerspace with the logo of the library and the Library Foundation. So it was a lot of fun. We had, of the 366 attendees, we had 77 people fill out their entire card to enter to win one of those Yetis. That was very, very popular. So it was a sellout. It was great.
And the food was fabulous.
And thank you.
Oh my gosh, don't forget
Thank
the
you.
food.
Yeah, the food was great. We had food stations on the backside of the program that I just passed around, had where all the food stations were and where all the bars were. It was just a lot of fun. The biggest question that I got asked everywhere, and even today, were, when are you doing this again? Yeah. Everyone really, really liked it.
Do it at Sims.
Oops. Here we go. Go this way. Here we go. Here's some great pictures from the night. You can see the fantastic DJ and the loungy feel of the atrium that was done. We also had a champagne toast to kick off the night, since it was the 1-year anniversary of the reopening of the main library. We had a book spine art station. There's some great pictures of the fairy garden, behind the scenes tours, and a lot of pictures from the shelfie station is what we called it, where you could text yourself social media posts and take your picture, and it would take all sorts of things. It was wild, but also a great Instagram moment there. Maybe.
It looks like Kyla and Kathy had
Yeah, I
fun
know
there.
you guys are.
Yeah, there you go. We did have a great time. Everybody had a great time. Booked for the evening wouldn't have been possible without the generous support of all of the event sponsors and hosts and hostesses. I have to shout out a few of whom are with us tonight. DSD advisors, retired Judge Nadine Allen, Kathy Bach, Paula, Molly, me, and also thanks to the nearly 70 CHPL staff members who helped make the event such a success. We couldn't have done it from planning to execution without their help. So thank you. Any questions?
Mr. Chair? Yeah. Just two things I wanted to say. First, thank you, Stacey. I think it's super helpful for us to kind of get a refresher on all things Library Foundation. I know when I joined the board, I knew it exists, but it's good to like be reoriented on kind of where those dollars are going. Specifically want to thank the foundation for their support during the campaign era. That's obviously a significant help to us when we're out there advocating for the library, and that's an expense, as you so perfectly put, what's an appropriate use of taxpayer dollars and what is not. So just really appreciate your work there. But the second thing I just wanted to say to this board is that I think that we should sort of like mark this time of year every year to try to do a board commitment of all of us contributing to the foundation in an appropriate to your own personal budget way. I think it would be really cool for us to say by every September or whenever is most appropriate, defer to you, Stacey, for the board to do their annual giving. I feel when I joined the board, I wasn't sure when, how, is that something that's appropriate? Is it something that we should do? And so Mr. Harding and I have talked about this, but I feel like it'd be a great like challenge from the president every year to say like, hey, let's try to have complete participation from the board. And I think if we make this sort of like an annual thing, I don't know that it's appropriate to do at our annual meeting, but probably like around this time, because we could get an annual update on the foundation, kind of know what's going on, and then renew our individual commitments. I think that would be a really great thing for the board to do. But I just want to say thank you. I've wanted to know more about the foundation. I know that folks, I'm sure, listening at home, but certainly board members here, it's just not something that we maybe have fully been briefed on. So thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Open up your wallets, folks.
You heard it here first. Second.
I have a hat, right?
No, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mr. Hendon?
No, that concludes my.
All right, thank you. All right, I will turn things back over to Judge Allen for the strategy report.
I think it's on your stack there.
And again, I want to thank our technology team and for this
Oh,
report.
it's this. I think you're doing strategy today.
Oh, wait.
Strategy.
Yeah.
Technology.
Oh, I did not. Here it is, okay.
Is that the
All right,
strategy one?
there, here it is, I have the
Yeah.
strategy report.
Yes, ma'am.
And this is from Michelle Matthews, Community and Employee Engagement Director, and also Tara Kessler, our Assistant Public Services Director. Barbershop books. I actually love this one. Okay. On August 13th, CHPL held a successful summer launch of the Barbershop Books program at the Deer Park Branch Library. Alvin Irby, founder and executive director of Barbershop, came from New York to enjoy the celebration. The 10 barbershops in this partnership, funded by the Library Foundation, provided free haircuts to kids. We also had engaging story times, activities for kids, book giveaways, and resourceful tables from youth-serving organizations. The Snowy Mobile truck provided shaved ice cups for the kids attending the event. Thank you to all library departments for the assistance with planning and executing this event. Denison Culture Survey Update. During the month of July, Regional Manager Justin Rampa and Community and Employment Director Michelle Matthews conducted 9 staff focus groups. After reviewing the results from the Denison survey, we worked to gather additional feedback to further understand staff perspectives and identify opportunities for improvement across our organization. This phase of the process has yielded a wealth of insights that will help guide our next steps. We are currently reviewing the feedback and to develop recommendations in areas for further exploration. Disability Pride. CHPL hosted and participated in several Disability Pride Month 2025 events in celebration of the 35th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, known as ADA. For example, we hosted Create and Connect at the Downtown Main Library Makerspace in partnership with Hamilton County Developmental Disabilities Services. In partnership with HCDDS and Autism Connections, the Deer Park branch hosted 2 speed dating events. We connected guests to library resources and services at the Accessibility for All, celebrating disability pride and the ADA event with more than 100 in attendance. Finally, Price Hill Branch hosted a Disability Advocate Network and HCDDS Pen to Policy event for an additional open house on how to advocate to protect disabilities services on the federal, state, and local levels. NAACP and CHPL Fair Housing Fair. In June, we partnered with Cincinnati NAACP for our 2nd annual Fair Housing Affair at the Walnut Hills Branch Library. More than 100 people were in attendance. Housing Opportunities Made Equal presented information regarding their discrimination prevention resources. Black Homeownership Council on Aging provided resources for older adults and caregivers who may be homeowners and renters. The City of Cincinnati Tenants Guide with eviction prevention resources was featured. Hamilton County Help Center provided free legal educational information. ESOL expansion. CHPL now offers in-person ESOL classes at 11 branches, a remarkable 450% increase since 2024. These include beginner, intermediate, and conversation groups, as well as ongoing virtual offerings. A training workshop in August is taking place at the Corryville branch for ESOL facilitators and will focus on best practices and practical tools, featuring a special presentation by Daniel Zimmer, ESL Chair at Cincinnati State. Partnerships update. In partnership with Pro Seniors, we hosted 3 in-person and 1 virtual session on advocating for long-term care residents. These served as training hours for those pursuing ombudsman certification, empowering community members to advocate for vulnerable populations. A new collaboration with the Hunefeld Story Center has led to the creation of a hybrid exhibit, English Learning in Cincinnati, Past and Present, featuring oral histories from 8 students in Maine's intermediate ESOL class. The exhibit highlights cultural stories from 7 countries and includes historical artifacts. The exhibit opens with a celebration. Language and Culture at CHPL, Stories of English Language Learners on September 19th and will run through 2025. Digital Literacy Initiative, this fall we are partnering with Tech Time Cincinnati to offer digital literacy classes at the Norwood and Elmwood Place branches. Topics include Smart Top and Laptop Basics. Tech Time will host Tech Help drop-in hours at the Mount Healthy branch for 4 weeks. And that concludes this report. And
Thank you,
those,
Judge.
is there another, is there another page? No. Okay. All right. I didn't know I was reading this report until just now, so.
That's all right. Thank you, you did great.
Right, all right, okay.
I was just going to ask, so Michelle, I know you were running the focus groups. Could you talk a little bit about kind of the makeup of those groups? How many staff participated in those groups, and what were you digging into exactly?
Yeah, so we had 9 different focus groups,
Uh-huh.
and we divided them so that no staff member was in a focus group with their direct leader. And so we had a managers group, and then we had an exempt staff leader group, and then we had a staff group. And so I think we had 3 manager groups, 2 leader groups, and 4 staff groups. We were going through some pieces of the Denison survey that we didn't quite understand what staff was telling us, and so we were digging into the information. We're currently, Justin Rampa did a great job in facilitating the groups, and Ray Buick, our government relations coordinator, takes fabulous detailed notes. And so we are going through those notes now to put together some themes and talk about things that we could gain from and learn from. The staff was very courageous and honest in their feedback and provided us with some, some jewels and some nuggets. I think there's some low-hanging fruit there, and there's some things that might take us a little longer to work through. But it was very fruitful and a rewarding opportunity to listen to our staff.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for doing that.
And I just want to say why I'm excited about the barbershop program is for the fact that a lot of parents bring their children to barbershops. And of course, the kids have nothing to do but to sit there for hours while daddy's going. And there's a whole community of a whole lifestyle in these barbershops. But someone came up with, let's entertain and teach the children and give them books and teach them reading and take care of their minds of all kinds. So I think that's just wonderful that we're doing that for the kids at the barbershops. I wish there was more than 10. Can we increase
You have
it?
to start. You have to start
Can we add some?
That's right.
Over the years, okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Of course.
All right, Ms. Redden, for the technology.
Technology, thank you, and thank you to Holbrook Sample for compiling this. The Technology Committee met on August 4, 2025 at the main library. Committee Chair Gregory W. Olson and Committee Member Karen R. Lewis were in attendance, along with Board President Christopher A. Harding and Board Vice President Colleen M. Reynolds. Staff members Paula Bremheger and Holbrook Sample were also in attendance. Digital strategy. As discussed at the April 2025 board meeting, a team from technology and logistics led by Holbrook Sample and including integrated library system manager Karen Davis and material selection and acquisition manager Tricia Spate has been actively developing the library's digital strategy. The primary aim of this strategy is to maximize the impact of existing materials funding with a particular focus on ebooks and e-audiobooks. Additionally, the strategy examines the implication of potential funding reductions of 5% and 20%. The digital strategy addresses 3 key areas: the integrated library system, Sierra, and its discovery layer, BiblioCommons, increased demand for e-material and current demand for physical materials and databases. With the state budget finalized as of early July, future recommendations will be considered as we progress through the remainder of 2025. All staff cybersecurity training. 40% of staff have started the cybersecurity training the library is offering through our partnership with Ohio Persistent Cyber Improvement. The all-staff training component, called Cyber Awareness, is less than 2 hours, and completers receive a badge for completion of the module. Staff have until September 30 to complete the training. Staff who work in IT and high-stakes information areas will have more extensive training and with advanced modules. New cybersecurity requirements. The state budget, House Bill 96, established Ohio Revised Code, ORC Section 9.64, which sets new standards for how political subdivisions, including public libraries, handle cybersecurity and ransomware incidents. Each political subdivision will be required to adopt a cybersecurity program that safeguards the entity's data, information technology, and information technology resources to ensure availability, confidentiality, and integrity. CHPL's work with Ohio Persistent Cyber Improvement will allow us to interpret the new requirements and ensure compliance, as we have already done with all the staff training component noted above. To allow political subdivisions time to develop and adopt their cybersecurity programs, the Ohio Auditor of State will check for compliance that cities and counties have adopted a plan by January 1, 2026, and all other political subdivisions by July 1, 2026. Therefore, even though House Bill 96 is effective September 30, 2025, the AOS will not check public libraries' compliance until after July 1, 2026. It is important to note that the requirement to report incidents and the ban on payment of ransomware will become effective September 30, 2025. Core switch replacements. In mid-June, the core switches housed at the main library were replaced. Last replaced in 2017, core switches handle all internet connectivity, data transfer, and telephone VoIP traffic for the entire library system. A team from IT, led by Senior Network Administrator Rich Cupp, worked overnight to complete the complex project. That concludes my report.
Thank you. All right, and I do have a quick update from the nominating committee that I'll read. This is just for information. Nominating committee met on July 17th at the main library. Committee members Colleen Reynolds and Diane Cunningham-Redden were in attendance. Staff members Paula Bremheger was also in attendance. The Board of Trustees of our library consists of 7 members. 4 board members are appointed by the Hamilton County Board of Commissioners and 3 by the judges of the Hamilton County Court of Common Pleas. Board members had been appointed for a term of 7 years. The term has recently changed to 4 years. 1 trustee term expires each year. The number of trustees' term and manner of appointment are governed by the Ohio Revised Code. The next upcoming expiring appointment is that of our current board member, Nadine Allen. Retired Judge Allen joined the board in 2018. She has served a full 7-year term, which ends September 30th, 2025. As she's not seeking an appointment, retired Judge Allen's appointment in 2018 was made by the Hamilton County Board of Commissioners, and this is the governing body charged with appointing a new trustee at the end of Judge Allen's term this September. So a quick update on that. So I know there's going to be some interaction with the Board of Commissioners. I'm hoping that there's no replacing Judge Allen. I mean, really, thank you for your service, but hoping that we'll get somebody that's good enough. So, thank you, Judge. All right.
So now, every 4 years, that some of you in that 4 years cycle, or it's going to start as
At the end of our term.
at the end of
Yeah.
everyone's term.
Yep.
We'll have a large
At the end of
vetting
everyone.
process to see who gets to sit next to me at the next meeting.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, right. I know you'll be participating. Not everybody can handle it.
That's right. That's right.
I'm a lot, you know.
All right. Well, I need a motion and a voice vote for the approval of the consent items.
Second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye. And then I'll also need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Switch it, make her the motion and I'll be the second.
All right.
So that ends the official meeting.